It's the beginning of March, and yes, it is time to start your pepper seeds. Peppers need a long time to get started, so if you're growing in a cooler climate, starting them in March is a really fabulous idea. I usually start peppers in like just reclaimed materials. Um, but I have these little seed starting containers, and I thought this would be a good use for them. And might as well not let them go to waste, obviously. But I usually do use just repurposed food containers. Hi, everybody. This is Aubrey, and this is Crybaby's Sentimental Homestead. I like to do a lot on being frugal on my channel, as well as gardening, homesteading type content, and so forth. Today, I'm starting peppers because peppers need so long before it's time to plant them out in the garden. They need about 12 weeks. And tomatoes tend to get a little bit leggy. So I'm going to wait a week or two on tomatoes. For the most part, I might start some more tomatoes. Um, I'll show you in a minute how leggy my tomato seedlings are. But I'm going to plant these Sugar Rush Peach peppers from Baker Creek Seeds. I believe this packet is a couple years old, and I did use some of the seeds in the past. They sprouted great and everything like that, but last spring and summer, we were going through a lot of personal tragedy in our family. So my garden did get neglected to a pretty big extent. So I was really relieved when I opened the package and there were as many seeds as there were supposed to be total. It was kind of like it was like a little blessing for me. So there's 12 cells here. So I'm going to plant 12 Sugar Rush Peach pepper seeds, one per cell. Now, peppers grow slow enough that it's worth growing them in little small units like this. I would not do this with something like squash or corn, but for peppers, they're pretty small and they grow in the beginning, and they do grow pretty slow in the beginning. So something like this is just perfect. And this particular little um, seed starting kit has an area on the bottom where you can add water. So you can water from the bottom. Now, some people don't like to do that with sprouts um, or seedlings, because it can lead to rot. But this is being left in my classroom. And if we're gone for the weekend, obviously, I don't want my seedlings to dry out. So I'm not going to always water them from the bottom. Um, I like to do that with some of my peppers and tomatoes, though, personally. You can comment below if you like to water from the bottom or not. I like to do that, especially if I'm going to be gone for a few days and I want to make sure that my seedlings don't dry up. Too much water or not enough water can be the end of your starts. So, I mean, if I'm going to round up or round down, I'd rather make sure that they don't dry out over the weekend. And then on Monday, I can always take the top part off and dump out the extra water and let the soil get a little bit less moist. But I do not want them to be dry. Once the seeds are wet, you don't want them to get dry. It's okay for the soil not to be too moist, but there should be some moisture in the water in the soil at all times. So I love trays like this. Now, I usually use like repurposed containers, like I said before in my other videos. This container is almost the exact same size as those plastic containers for mushrooms. The ones that I see in my grocery stores are blue, and they perfectly fit. I'll show you in a little bit. They perfectly fit 6 K cups. So this one here has 12 cells, right? But the K cups are kind of nice because they're a little bit bigger space. They already have their little drainage holes. They're practically free because you already have them if you're using a Keurig. Um, and so I'm definitely going to be using those mushroom containers They look almost identical to this, and they're free. I think these little containers I bought either, I think I got them off of Temu. I could have got them off of Amazon. I'm not sure. Um, but I do have some students who have planted some seeds over here. The one looks really good. These are my tomatoes. This is what I said before. They get leggy. The reason they're leggy is because I did not get light on top of them fast enough. Now, some of them started a little bit slower, and those are going to be fine. But the ones that are really, really long are probably garbage. I'm just going to let them do their thing. And if a few of them rebound, it's fine. But I was doing a germination test on those. I wasn't really trying to like authentically start tomatoes 2 weeks ago. I basically wanted to know if my seeds were viable, and obviously they are. Those were seedlings. I saved seeds from a tomato plant my son bought me for Mother's Day a couple years ago, and they were a really nice variety that had like really small, tiny plant with tons of fruit, and it was really good for like the caprese salads. So I wanted to see if those seeds were viable, and yes, they definitely were. And there are a few plants in there I'm going to pick out because not all of them are leggy. Some of them started a little bit slower, and I'm going to go ahead and use those. But whenever your seedlings sprout, once they burst through the soil, that's when they need light. They don't need light until they've actually germinated. So if you don't have your light set up, as long as there's a warm mat, a heat mat to get them started, we're perfectly great. But as soon as they sprout, they need a light source. And if they have to stretch for the light source, they're going to get really leggy. I did like that little container has like little vents. That's pretty sweet. And I'm labeling on the side. This is reused. I did use it for starting some lovage last year. And I don't think I'm going to use it for growing lovage again. I think I'm going to just direct seed lovage in the future. But I will be using these for peppers specifically. I think I'd prefer to start tomatoes in cups, like full-size cups, because they do tend to grow a little bit faster. So that was a Sugar Rush peach seedling. I just started one seed. I wanted to see if it was viable. I planted one seed and it sprouted. It looks great. So here I'm showing you, you can fit 6 K-cups into a container. Those mushroom containers. I think they might sell some meat in containers like this too. I don't like to repurpose things that had meat in them, but I will reuse the ones that had mushrooms. So here I have like just like a UV light. I am going, and I can't adjust the height of it or how close it is to the peppers. So I'm going to bring in some of my um, grow lights that I can adjust how close they are. You don't want them to have to stretch too far. So this is supposed to have 22 seeds, and guess what? It had more than 22 seeds, and that was after I already had used some of the seeds from last year. And I'm just showing you here that I still have some seeds left, and quite a few actually. So if I mess up, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I had like at least a dozen in that picture right there um, left, and I already planted 12 just now. And last year I planted some, and those are the ones that went to waste. I feel so bad about it, honestly. Got to forgive myself and move on. Tragedy was really rampant in my family. We lost 2 family members last summer, so gotta let it go. Just move on. I just need to let it go, not get mad at myself that I let my garden go last year. I did not take very good care of my garden. But this is the time for growing your peppers. If you haven't started them, now is the time. Next week or the week after, like even to the beginning of beginning of April is kind of pushing it for me. I need to plant tomatoes in a couple weeks, and I'm gonna be planting some eggplants as well. Here I wanted to show you, I finally got up to uppotting some of my house plants I bought from a garden center. The little pot had 3, so I transplanted the 3 little plants into 3 separate containers. Those little black pots I did get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm really happy. And that right there is a mother of thousands that I transplanted. Got some potatoes, they're past their prime, that I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and plant some of those store-bought grocery potatoes. I really hope you've enjoyed planting some Sugar Rush peach pepper seeds with me today and taking a look around at some of the plants in my classroom. You know, I always say them into my videos, but before I say that, I want to tell you this. I wish you the very best in life. I pray that God will watch over you and keep you safe and bless your heart, your soul, your garden. Be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you on the next video.